Hello, everyone. It's nice to have you here with us on board today. I hope that you have your cup of coffee ready, and we hope that the session will help you to understand how to use some of the BIM families. Janne, could you put your screen on? We will a short intro. So my name is Katarzyna Klepacz, but everyone calls me Kasia. It's easier that way. I'm in Rookie for over 3 years now, and during that time I worked with ProdLib on many occasions. We develop BIM libraries together, we develop features in the library, so this cooperation brings lots of good fruits. I hope that it also shows that manufacturers can do better than before. And I'm also an enthusiast of new technologies and open BIM. That's for sure. Janne.
Yeah, my name is Janne Virtanen, and also welcome from my behalf for this webinar. And well, my background is also in structural engineering, graduated much earlier than Kasia you did, but being involved with BIM, I was actually kind of checking that I did my first BIM projects back in 2001 with a bit different software than Revit, but still been around BIM for a long time. Also had a short stint with Rookie about a bit over 10 years ago, and thinking about what kicks me still or keeps me running is really about how to use the BIM not just as a method of modeling things, but how to really use it to drive the projects forward and use the information what we do, and cooperation with Rookie has been really brilliant because we have been able to really develop new things, and with learn and error method sometimes, but
of course.
But anyways, going forward little by little, and that's why also it's brilliant to be able to arrange these kind of webinars and get feedback from the users, and also to help us to develop things forward, hopefully from here. So yeah, I guess that was intro from my part.
Thanks, Janne. It's good to have you here.
So shall we jump to the sort of ProdLib introduction a bit for this part of the webinar?
Yes, maybe a couple of words from my side still. So what can you expect from this webinar? We will give you a short tour around ProdLib, what that really is, that strange name. For some of you, it may be not very well known. For some of you, will be a tool that you use every day. But we would like to show you all the features. Maybe you missed something and could be used in your daily work. And then after Janne will show the features of ProdLib, I will jump in and show you Rookie libraries, how to use them. So we will have a short workshop in Revit.
Yep. So that's the plan. Let's see how it goes in real life. Yeah. Okay. So I'll show one slide and then I'm done with it. So I am not a big fan of slideshows. So, but just to have a bit of a history about what is ProdLib. I mean, ProdLib, product library. What can you get when you put engineers thinking of a name of something that is doing with products and libraries? But we started the company back in 2013, so just had our 10 years sort of anniversary. And the idea was to be able to connect designers and manufacturers by sharing supportive material that architects, engineers, draft people would need on the everyday work. So it's CAD files, Revit files, and so on. And this is sort of trying to show a bit that on the top row, a bit of our identity, how we have been chasing from the first sketches to what we are nowadays. From the content point of view, we published our first library, that was Peikko doing different kind of concrete connections in October 2014. And Rookie was actually second, so it was just in the beginning of 2015 that we published first libraries of sandwich panels for Revit. And nowadays we are having a bit over 150 manufacturers cooperating with us that are sharing different kind of content. So trying to extend it, of course, much more. if thinking about from this how we have developed as a technology also and the support, we started purely with Revit and AutoCAD. We recognize that they are very widely used already back in the days, and to try to serve that one. And it was really much concentrating about file sharing and automating the usage of Revit files. And along the years, we've developed the service to support different kind of services. And now I think this picture in the right bottom corner is trying to describe a bit what we can do nowadays, that we can support creation of complex solution natively inside the target software. In this case, many Revit, ArchiCAD, some things for Tekla as well, and so on. So how to manage these complicated products. And well, from the top row still, there's nowadays, I mean, back it was in 2019 or 2018, 2019 that we had a big change of the ownership of the company. So Byggfakta Group from Sweden came as a partner to ProdLib, and in May this year we were fully acquired by Byggfakta Group. That is just been rebranded as under the name of Habexo, which has been globally growing quite a lot, and they are now operating in 28 countries, if I recall correctly. So on a journey to hopefully finding new users and new support for in many other countries. But that's sort of ProdLib in brief, where we started from 3 persons working with the engineers, architects, sharing files, and now we have closer to 100,000 users globally of our service, and yeah, thousands and thousands of files to be used. But that, I think, was in brief about the presentation. So now I think I would actually really go show a bit live at how does it really work. Let's start from the our what we call as a web library. So, I mean, if thinking about the principles of our services, in a simple thing, we share files. That's the sort of the simple thing to describe what we do. What we try to put, of course, is the much more intelligence in the usage of it, and mainly concentrating on the usage of the complicated products. But any user can access all the content what we have, almost all the content, sorry, small mistake. Almost all the content through our web library, going to prodlib.com, and to download any content, you would need to sign in. So it's free of charge to use, but the users do need to log in. And once they are here, they can start browsing based on different categories or just with the keyword searches to different kind of products. So if I want to have kitchens, I can find different brands that are in our services, and then different items that can be downloaded to those ones. Or then just or if I know that I'm looking for rookie content, I can go and find now directly, in this case, for example, the rookie envelopes library. We have 2 different libraries of rookie. There's the rookie roofing and rookie
building envelopes. Mm-hmm.
Building envelopes to be able to support full building core to be modeled with
both divisions in rookie, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. As they are a bit different, they are divided into 2 libraries.
Yeah. But the principle with the web library is like pretty much any file download based application. So you browse what you look for, and in the end you will get to a view that, hey, this is SPA 200 EE. This is what I want to have. We show some technical properties of it. We have links to the Rookie's own web pages, and the attachments what can be downloaded. Is it a CAD file? Is it a Revit file? Is it an ArchiCAD file? They can be downloaded from here. So you just click on it and you download it it goes to your default downloads folder. So find what you need and get that content. So this is basically the very traditional.
Janne, but
yes.
Of course, as every web BIM library, it has its disadvantages, right?
Yes. We are basically, especially when we talk about complicated solutions with multiple parameters to be driven, or like in Revit's case, we talked in these walls, floors, structures that cannot be, the way of sharing that kind of content would be by sharing some kind of example projects, and then the user would need to be copy-pasting wall types, floor types, roof types, material information. So there's lots of steps to get it, and the information what you get can be a bit limited. And that's what we started basically from the beginning. We had our own application to improve the usability. I mean, everything what we have been developed, we tried to make it so that it'd be easier for the designers. So I know that there's some things that we didn't succeed in that one, but that's our goal. So that whoever is using the content, that usage would be as easy as possible. And that's why we developed the application. That is, we try to promote it every place, no matter where you search in our pages. I think you have it, this download ProdLib application, where you can download there's a Windows version and the Mac version, and the Mac version basically only supports ArchiCAD library download, so it's very limited, unfortunately. But as we know, that main usage for these design softwares are on a Windows platform. That's our primary development line. So, but what you can do is download the application. It's a normal installation. It does require administrative rights because it's an application. So you probably need to have your IT to get if you don't have the full admin rights on your computers. But then again, after it's once installed, then you can manage the actual content without any with any basically user rights. And I'll be mainly concentrating now on showing how the application works and how it works together with this design software. So that's where I'll jump. The application itself, I have it, of course, installed in my computer. This is pretty much how it looks. Let's put down some of this stuff still here in the background. Not much better. So first time the user downloads the ProdLib Manager, is basically an empty platform. We don't force any user to use any specific content. You might be an architect and you are interested about facade claddings and furniture and so on, but you're not interested about bolts and screws and so on. That's why the users always have access to the content. Or if you're a structural engineer, you might be interested about beams and columns and those bolts and nuts, but not about the furniture. So when the user downloads the application, signs in, they have the list of libraries that they can access, and we have the same grouping here. So if I want to have, for example, window manufacturers, I can see that, okay, these are the window manufacturers available for me to use. And you can see we have lots of content still in Finnish because we are based, we started the company in Finland, but we are getting more and more international content. So you can see, so maybe if you're in Poland, then you don't necessarily have to have a Finnish library of ProdLib Pro doing Windows, but you might find something else.
But then you have your generic library also, right?
Exactly. So we have manufacturer-specific content, and then we have, at the moment, still two ProdLib generic libraries. The ProdLib generic is about architectural content. It was recently launched. The content is relatively limited. I can show you in a moment. And then we have structural version with more like beams, columns of concrete, steel, timber, and so on. So they are just a generic content. And what do these libraries look like? Well, if I basically open this one, the user would need to basically download that library. It goes to it downloads it to your computer, but after that, I mean, it's accessible online or offline after the library. So if I open the ProdLib generic at this point of time, so this is basically a view of any of these libraries. You can see either the company's logo and the content on the left side, browsing, selecting whatever you need. And once you found the product what you had, it might have some properties that can be driven directly through the user interface, or then it can be just as like a simple insert to Revit. All the attachments will be visible here on the side. In this case, it's only about Revit content. If I'll open the...
And if we open this ProdLib from the desktop as a single application, let's say, it downloads on our computer, right?
Yes, it goes to this kind of public folders in your computer that doesn't require any admin rights. So it means that any user, once they have installed the application, then the usage and downloading new content, you don't need any admin rights anymore after that one. So hopefully makes it a bit easier to manage. But this is the view from the structural content. So if you need to have H profiles that are just the standard profiles for Revit, you can find. In this case, there's also the CAD drawing. So there's a DXF file of the cross section, and then there's a Revit file of the same thing. So always the attachments can be visible here on the right side. And then these libraries that you download, as I said, it's always up to the end user to select whatever they want to have here. This list is starting to get a bit long, so that's why we try to have this grouping, different categories, or if you know that if you want to have find Rookie's library, you will find it just with the searches here. But anyways, you download what you need based on your requirements. And once you start getting a bit more content, then it can be, because all the downloaded libraries, they get actually listed here on the left side. And you can already see on my view, I have this kind of tabs here that they are basically, I've built them myself to group the libraries what I have according what I need. And any user can manage it from the settings. So we have in the settings, we have this libraries grouping. And from here, you can create your new group. And then any library can, it creates that tab on the side of the library manager. So if I want to have my new group, there it is. It's at the default in the bottom. I could move it higher, but if I just save this one, and now if I go back to here in front, this page, if I want to have, for example, this one, it's railing glazing manufacturer. Now the grouping is listed here, and my new group, so it would be, now it's actually created a new tab here where it's been listed, that library on the top. So it just can be easier for you to organize your content what you have. Something that we have also that I don't think that many people even know is we have a possibility to help to organize and access your own CAD, BIM, PDF, whatever files you have, so that you can browse them. So and also add the content directly in the design software, and that's what we call as a MyLib function. So what it actually does, I have here. I had to do some preparation here. So I have just a Windows folder on my desktop with some, inside this one I have some AutoCAD files taken from the Rookie's content. So if I go to so there's some CAD files in my folder. There's some Revit stuff, some documents, and so on. And what I need to do is basically just, actually I already created, but all I need to do is just browse to this folder, select it, and select this folder, and give the name for this file. I'm not doing it again because I don't know what will I mess it for the same library. And once it's done, it's now visible, the content. I can go again to this front page, and there's My Libraries tab on the bottom. And I have here actually two. This is the one with my design content, and I can start it, and it builds this view. It doesn't have fancy pictures. It's just this is the folder structure that I have now from here. So basically my Windows Explorer view. And the content, I can go and see this. Okay, there's rookie. This is a load-bearing sheet section views that I have saved there. The Revit files. These are basically I just copied here. It can be whatever it is. It can be a picture. So this is now in this case, it will open it to the default picture view of what I have here. So it's just a.
Let's say that we have a big organization. We have a BIM manager who's managing the standards of the company BIM families. He or she can put it in here for the rest to share, and no one else has an access, right? Only people who have an access to this folder. To this
exactly. So, I mean, who hasn't downloaded lots of content, different files, and saved your own CAD drawings or details from previous projects? So this can be just a simple way of having a visual way of accessing that content. And this is also available inside the CAD and Revit software. Where I will jump now because I'm otherwise running time. Sorry.
Yes. I think all these features really have another light in Revit or in AutoCAD as a plugin. So it's good to show it.
Yeah. So now I'm just in a plain AutoCAD. I need to have a full license to be able to use the plugin directly inside the application, which I have. But if you have an AutoCAD LT or you have some other CAD software, you can always still use the drag and drop method for the content. So I'll just close this one, of course. I'll start it again. So if I'll now in this case I'll open quickly the rookie envelopes library on a separate. I'll close the application. I'll browse for some sandwich panel plinth details that we have in the library, so I can see what we have available. There's the PDF versions, the CAD versions. So the DWG or DXF version, basically what I can do is I can drag and drop it to my any CAD drawing. I need to specify the rotation and the insertion point, and there it is. So if you don't have a full CAD version, you can do always the drag and drop. I could even do a drag and drop to my desktop and then save it as an attachment in an email if I want to have it, if needed. But if I have a full version of AutoCAD, the ProdLib gets installed here into the ribbon. And it can be also used in this kind of side panel. It's always up to the user. The panel can be, if I want to close it, I can always get it visible from here, from the ribbon view. And now again, any content what I have, I can access directly. I can, if I remember the manufacturer, I'll take the first of our customers. Right? So this is Peikko's doing different kind of concrete connections, anchor plates, anything that you put inside the concrete. So here again, I can see all the sizes, the connection plate, the views from the front, side, and so on. So if I want to add this one, I'll just pick it, and I want to have it here, and I want to have the top view as well. There it is. So find what you need and add it. Simple as that. And if we jump then to Revit, it's
that's pretty easy. It seems like a pretty easy thing to do, right? Directly from the software. That's where I see the potential in the application.
So now I'm here in the Revit. We can go from here. So again, the same installation, it recognizes, do you have Revit 23, 24, 25? It doesn't matter. We support the latest 3 or 4 versions, depending a bit on situation, but minimum the latest 3 versions. So here again, I can use the ProdLib panel so that I have access to all the other ribbons. The same division what I created with those in the ProdLib manager about those grouping, they are visible in here. And here, for example, if I want to open the same Peikko that I had in AutoCAD, the view looks exactly the same because it's the same. So here you can also already start seeing that, okay, in Revit, let's say that this would have lots of parameters. What are the widths, heights, dimensions, and so on. we are driving those parameters with the user interface. If I take a bit more complicated product for just to have a show here, what shall I have here? Just a moment. This one is one of the things. This is a product that is, it looks sort of simple. It's a rail with some doubles. It's used for punching reinforcement so that the concrete column doesn't go through a slab, but we can drive quite complex. This is now creating actually a group of 20 of these rebars with setting of doubles, heights of the doubles, and so on, and I could drive the different distances. And now if I add this one, it loads that object to this project. And that's one of our benefits actually with managing these libraries. If I download Ruukki's library or Peikko's library or whoever we have, they are not loaded automatically to the project, but they are just on your hard drive. But they will only get loaded to the project when you are adding it through the UI that content here. So it doesn't make your project template any heavier or project heavier until you really use it. So here you can see the parametric railing group that I created, and I could add it to the more or less to the bottom of the column. Might not be exactly correct, but there it is. So we can use this user interface to drive the complex content what can be shared. This has a lots of parameters already. This kind of family there. So what it can be really much easier to handle that one. But I think Kasia, you could maybe jump over and start showing a bit of what we have done with in cooperation with Ruukki and your content.
Definitely, yes. I'm so excited. Just a second, I will put my screen on and let's see. I hope that you can see my screen. Okay, so when we are thinking about BIM libraries, we see many heavy elements, multiple constraint parameters that are hard to even know what they should mean. In Ruukki, we took another path. We decided that we would like to offer light, simple models that could be flexible, usable, simply easy to put in your projects and not making them heavier than it should be. And if we are thinking about one of the group of our portfolio products, we think of sandwich panels, which are quite a simple product. But if you think about their technical parameters, it's rather complicated. So today I would like to show you how to use our libraries, how to find the models that you are interested in, and how do they behave in Revit environment. So let me start with opening ProdLib from Revit directly. Here I have some Ruukki libraries downloaded, so no need for retracing the steps that Janne showed before. When I'm sharing a screen, it takes a bit longer, so forgive me for the delay. When we open the library, first thing that we can see on the left-hand side is navigation. Here you can find many categories of the products that we offer. You have also a link to our roofing division, so you can also browse through their library. And we have sandwich panel details and roof structures. The last category is interesting. It's simple also, but it's interesting from the case that you have all the layers for roofing, for example, that we recommend to use with our products. So you can freely use them in your projects as basic roofs. Upper, we have sandwich panel details. As you can see, not many categories still, but we are adding them every day. So, for example, we have SP2E joint between panels, and we have several options for joints. So you can pick the one that you are interested in and insert it in your Revit file. And upper, we have the things that we are mostly interested about, which is BIM models. Let's go to sandwich panels. You may see a small sticker on some of the categories in our portfolio. That means that if you are interested in more sustainable product, you can consult with our technical team or sales team to get the best solution, because these products are available with less carbon footprint. Let's go to standard panels. For example, I know that in the project that I have in the background, I've been using SP2E panel. So I will search that one, and it's 160. So if you know what you are looking for, then it's easy. If you are not sure, we encourage you to go to our website and find the product that you need for your project. Then it's very easy to find it here. You can also type SP2E 160 EPIR, and then it will appear. But the configuration page looks like more or less something that Janne showed before for another manufacturer. So we have some options to choose from for a better result. We have some colors that we can pick for our project. Sorry, I can't see due to the small window. That's tricky sometimes, you know. Yeah, I will not do that on the screen, sorry. Oh, no. Sorry for that. I was too quick. You see, these kind of mistakes happen. But then I have an opportunity to show you how to search for the right panel. Yeah, so with just typing it in the navigation, we can easily find the product. As shown before, a better screen is usually more useful when you want to open additional windows, so I will not do that right here. You can also pick additional profiling if you'd like to change the one that's set up as a generic one. So for me, it will be 2 times polyester and 2 linear L. And on the right-hand side, when we are done with the configuration, we can download our family directly to Revit. And we have several options. We have basic wall, we have curtain wall simple, and we have a curtain panel as a separate family and a beam. I will show all of them to you right now so you could see the difference. So starting from basic wall. Basic wall is basic wall. So it has all the data that you require for this project, but it's a simple conceptual element that does not carry too much data. Curtain wall simple is something that we value because it's still a simple element, but it has already the division, which allows you to do many things. For example, strength analysis with our new tool, Trypan to Revit, which I recommend to try. We do also have a beam, and you can also see the curtain wall detail ditch. This should be already ditched because that's our, let's say, not very successful project due to the fact that the curtain wall detail is too heavy to handle. So, and it does not provide any additional value. But we have to make some tests, right? In order to get things right. And this is a beam, so you can use it in a very different way. It's versatile in. It's a completely different thing from the curtain wall simple, as you may imagine. It's just modeling one by one, but in some cases it may come useful. So let's take a look at our model. It has been built with curtain wall simple. Let's fill this void that I left here with this curtain wall simple. Let's go back to our ProdLib library. And that's the path I would recommend of doing. So if you have some element, some model that you would like to implement into your Revit, we do recommend going through the configuration always to get the right results. Of course, you can fill these parameters in the Revit if you'd like to. So, for example, if you select 1.5, 1.4, and you would like to change it later in Revit, that's also possible. But let's start from the scratch.
One benefit for choosing that one in the in the UI is that you actually see the available options, because in a Revit family, unfortunately, it has some limitations with the drop-down menus and so on. So we can show that what Rookie actually provides.
Exactly, that's true. We can see there is a different color, but you know, I didn't go to the configuration of colors. Nevertheless, the steps are the same. So first we implement our wall into the project. Then we can, sorry, it happens every time. Then let's align it with the top. And now we have our assembly. And if you'd like to check, every panel has the proper data, so it's ready to be set in the schedule. It has all the colors, it has all the profilings, but it's still a very simple element. As you can see, we build it as a basic wall embedded, made an assembly of basic wall in a curtain wall. So next step would be to select this wall. Let's go to edit type. When we insert something from ProdLib, usually we have a fixed distance for vertical and horizontal grid. We know that for horizontal grid, I will set up 1000 because that's the module on other walls. But for vertical grid, let's click on none. Then we will free up our grids to move it without any restrictions. Before that, maybe I should show it. Yeah, that would be best. So when we download something from ProdLib, you can see that these grid lines are fixed, meaning they are pinned. Of course, we can unpin it, but then there is a lot of steps if you want to unpin every grid line. It's easier to go to edit type, change this fixed distance into none, and then we can adjust the grid line as we wish. Okay. Adjusting the grid lines is very easy. If we have grids of the building adjusted to the structural framing, we can do that with aligning. So for example, like that. So as you can see, it's easy. I recommend doing it on the elevation, but in here you can easier see it in an easier way how that wall works, and so on and so on. We can also select and copy those grid lines. I will align them once again. In 3D, it's not so easy to copy in the right spot. So that's why some additional steps needs to be taken. So here we go. We have a full wall within, I hope it was not more than 4 minutes. And then what's the problem usually with the very elaborate manufacturer models? We know, but because we struggled with it with the previous library, the problem comes when you want to create an opening for anything, basically, ventilation ducts or a gate or a door. So with our families, because it's a type that's unnatural in Revit, basic wall is very flexible. This gate jumped a bit. Let's put it on 0. As you can see, no problem with creating openings, with moving the objects. And you can see that it's been cut because you can see the structure behind the element, right? So it's not only a phantom element on the wall. If you don't have a specific opening and you would like to create a hole for ventilation duct, for example, you can easily do it by clicking double on the outline of the wall. Again, I recommend doing it on the elevation, but still here it's more, you can see more, let's say, from without jumping through the views. Let's say that we have a huge ventilation duct coming in here. Cutting a hole is something really, really easy. And it works perfect with revisions, which we know that they are plenty at some point of time in the project. So do not be afraid of using simple models if they carry the right data. As I said before, I'm not sure if on this webinar or not, but data is the most important thing in BIM. So let's do not focus on small details of the models. Right, Janne?
Mm-hmm. There's place for that as well, but it can be then complemented nicely with the CAD detailing or 2D detailing. So
that's true. All right, so what can we show again? We have also cladding walls that we would like to showcase for you. And they are a bit more complex, but also interesting to see. Janne, do we have some questions from the audience at this point of time?
Not that
want to see?
I think, actually now just as you wrote, there came something.
In a minute, I will show you, as I said, claddings, and we have also load-bearing sheets that are used on the roofing. So that will be also showcased. But in the meantime, if you have anything that you would like to see, please let me know.
Yes, maybe I can read this question. What is written by Emil Sandholm? Are you focusing on 3D product solids? The main issue for all online content regarding 3D product solids is that they are inconsistent. Insert points differ, quality varies widely, and solidly is never a guarantee. The 2D libraries offered in ProdLib currently look really consistent. I have been monitoring ProdLib closely for several years, hoping that more 3D sources will pop up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the precast construction industry using Tekla structures. SketchUp is a really flexible format since it's easily modifiable in SketchUp. Do you have guidelines for manufacturers on how their 3D references should be created so we can rely on consistency once they start popping up in larger volumes?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was an elaborate question, but thank you. Well, I think that the problem with most 3D models from manufacturers, and I'm not saying that we are perfect, but the problem is that these elements are being designed to reflect a real product. There is less thought on usability, there is less customer-centric approach. Maybe that's why these models are not consistent. We tried to build this kind of library, and I hope that we succeeded. Please check the library that we provide with a special emphasis on the curtain wall simple, since it's very easy to adjust it. If there is some insertion point that you don't like, it's very easy to move it around. As you could see, it's also very flexible in creating openings. You can even change the shape of the whole wall if you'd like, just by creating new outline. So, and all these elements reflect already in the schedules. So for example, if you have a circular opening, these panels will show you that there is an opening there is a cut in these panels, so you won't be misled by the schedule. It reacts to what we do actually in the families in the project. I don't know if I answered correctly, but Janne, if
Maybe.
you'd like to add something, in the meantime, I will insert claddings from our
Yeah.
library.
Maybe I can just generally say that I fully agree that there's lots of inconsistencies in available contents in different sources about BIM files, and it's a constant challenge for us as well to trying to harmonize the content what we create or share and luckily different kind of guidelines, instructions as how BIM content should be created. There are starting to be more and more, but I think it's going to take still years and years before it's going to be all fully harmonized and nicely working. So just need to try to evolve and follow what's happening on the field, and what kind of requirements do we get from both from the users and of course from the industry itself. I mean, in ProdLib we try to have a consistency in the content. We do also some BIM file health checks for other ones that are just based on recommendations of the usage how they should work. But it's long journey. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and in 10 years, many things change. So yeah.
Yeah, and
But
also
then, yeah.
the software also develops, so we need to
Yeah.
be able to respond to those requirements as well.
That's true. That's true completely. What I would like to show you, I hope that I can fit in 3 minutes. But we have libraries also for claddings. I encourage you to go to the website and check our Forma facade solution. If you have a sandwich panel building, you can put claddings on it, and it looks more fancy, let's say. We have also, as I mentioned, families for claddings, which are very easy to use. For less demanding users, we have curtain wall simple, which consists of simple element, which is basic wall with the parameters that are necessary for the building characteristics of the element. And for those who are more demanding and prefer to see some details, some nice details that resemble the real shapes of the claddings, we have detailed version of the cladding family. So, well, I should encourage you to take a look and maybe come back with some feedback to us, because we developed these two directions, and we feel that it's a right way for claddings. For sandwich panels, this detailed version did not work, as I mentioned before. But for claddings, it's easier to build a layout where you don't have such a specific situation where you would have to cut through the panel. We also have LBS family, and maybe I will show it by hiding this element. Our LBS that goes on the roof, this is load-bearing sheet. It's built as a beam, and it can be used easily with the reference line that you put on the slope in the section. So it's also intuitive, although it's a bit heavier as a model. So at the moment we are working on a better solution that could accommodate also a full roof divided into elements, as we did for the walls. So let's see how that will go. Janne, do we have any more questions related to Revit, or
not at the moment?
Okay, then I will stop sharing my screen.
Maybe what I could add still there, that what we try to do with when developing the content for Rookie is that we have the basic wall, we have the simple curtain wall, we have some detailed elements. We understand that there's different needs in different kind of projects and different phases of the project. So hopefully that will serve you from the early stage of the design also towards all the way that you can pretty much send a quotation request or the list of actual panels needed to Rookie. But yeah, always room to improve, and that therefore also your feedback is really needed. So sometimes it takes time to develop things, so you need to have patience with us as well. But we try to consider what the feedback what we have and see what we can do better.
Exactly, and I think it's very important what you said, Jan. We really care about your feedback. So if you are giving us some advice or you have some need, please contact us. We will not forget about it. We develop everything in order for you to have it useful, have it useful for everyday projects, from smallest to biggest ones. So as Janne said, there are different needs which we will try to accommodate every one of them. Thank you.